Hello and welcome, my dear student, to today's lesson, which is going to be about form, meaning, and function. Today, inshallah, we have the 11th lesson of this unit, which is called the sporting life. Let's see the objectives of today's lesson. Today, inshallah, we will express duration with for. Duration, length of time, okay, the length of time. Express duration with for, express duration with all. Form sentences about an action that started in the past and produce sentences, okay, about durations. Form sentences about counting. And finally, we're going to connect a group of words to a specific or with a specific sport, okay? So let's start our lesson. And actually, I will show you a sentence. I will show you a sentence and I would like you to complete this sentence. Okay? Let's read together. He learned how to ski, but he hasn't how to snowboard. Okay? Now I want you to complete this sentence. Can you help me with that? Okay, very good. Here, as you can see, today we're going to talk about something important called the present perfect. And we mentioned that earlier in the previous lessons. Okay, do you remember that? Yeah, the present perfect here we have the same as learned here. Okay, it's not the past form of learn. It is the past participle. Okay, the past participle, which is called, we call it as V3. Okay, and if you go to the second sentence here, we have, but he hasn't, okay, or has not. Has not. Okay, so learned is a verb 3, past participle, and has not. All of these goes together and give us a one tense, which is called the present perfect. Let's see the present perfect, how we can make the present perfect. We can reduce the present perfect sentences by have or has, and plus the past participle. As you can see here, we have or has, okay, and the past participle itself. Okay, so if you'd like to answer this sentence, you should answer as this. You should use has or have, okay, before the past participle, okay, and after the pronoun or the noun itself. So he also, you should know how we can use the pronoun or the noun itself. Is it singular or the plural ones? Okay, so he here is plural or singular. It is singular. Okay, so here we're going to use has. Okay, the answer is has. So he has learned, okay, how to ski, but he hasn't. What is the best choice or the best verb we could choose here? He hasn't learned how to snowboard. Okay, to use the snowboard. Okay, very good. Now, as you can see, the present perfect here is has or have plus adding the past participle. Who can give me here the past participle? Which one I'm talking? I'm talking about this one. Okay, and this one, of course. Okay, very good. What about has and have? Here we have has here, okay, and hasn't also in here. This is how we can form the past perfect. Why do we use the present perfect? Sorry, why do we use it? Okay, actually, we use the present perfect to talk about something happened in the past. Okay, to talk about something happened or something in the past. Okay, very good. But remember that when you talk about something in the past, it should be one. When we don't know the time or the exact time or event happened when it happened. Okay, and number 2, okay, and it's so important to know it is not important when it happened. Okay, so we are going to, as I say, this is A and this is B. A, to talk about something in the past, okay, but it should be, we don't know the time and we don't know when the event happened, or when it's not important. It's not important to mention or to be mentioned, okay, to be mentioned. So we use the present perfect for these two main purposes, A and B. Also to talk about ongoing time form, ongoing time from the past up to now, okay? And actually we have here two kinds of present perfect. The first one is the simple one, okay? And here we have the progressive. You should remember that, okay? The progressive. Okay, now the present perfect simple should talk about something happened in the past, but I don't know the exact time when it happened, and the time is not important. The second one is progressive, which is to talk about ongoing from the past up to now. Okay, now let's move on page 30. Okay, and 31, of course. 11, form, meaning, and function. Now, look at the perfect or present perfect progressive versus, okay, against the present perfect simple. And I mentioned that earlier. We have the progressive, okay, and we have the simple. Okay, let's start. Use, number 1. Use the present perfect progressive for what? Okay, to talk about an action that started in what? In the past and has a connection with the present time. Okay, so here the progressive is what? Action that started in the past and have a connection with the present time. Okay, and the action may or may not have finished. May or may not have finished. Number 2, use the present perfect progressive for what? To emphasize. What do you mean by emphasize? Emphasize means to focus on something, okay, or make it large, for example. The result of an action or the result of the action. Number 3, use the present perfect progressive to say what? To say how long, and inshallah we are going to explain that in some minutes, okay? To say how long something has been happening. How long something has been happening. And we are talking about duration, of course, here. I'm talking about time, okay? Finally, use the present perfect symbol for what? To say how many things have been done. Okay, so here the progressive used for what? How long? Okay, talking about duration. While we use the perfect symbol, the present perfect symbol, to say how many, okay, how many things have done. Let's see the examples here we have. Okay, example number 1. How long have, guys, please focus. Okay. How long have you been learning to ski? Now he's asking about what? He's asking about a duration. Number 2, I have attended 5 courses, cross-country skiing events. Okay, so here I have attended 5 cross-country skiing events. So here we have time, we have number or quantity, and here we have time, duration. Okay, we have a duration. And actually, I could use the present perfect symbol in affirmative sentences, okay, or even in negative sentences. But here I am using the present perfect progressive in questions, as you can see here. So who's gonna answer this question? How long have you been learning to ski? Okay, we have here have or has, of course, and here we have the ing. We have the ing. Let's answer the first one. I have been learning, okay, for example, English for 6 months. I have been learning English for 6 months. And look here, please. 4, okay, 6 months is the duration, the time. Another example. I have been learning how to ski since last April, okay? So here we have for and since, and it's much important if you know the difference between for and since. Very good. Now, what is the difference between for and since? We use for when we have an extended time, for example, okay, like 6 months, 7 years, okay, or 10 centuries, for example, okay? But since we use it only with a specific point of time, for example, last week, okay, 1 day ago. So here, if I have a specific point of time, I use since, while for used for an extended time or a length of time. And you know that time you could calculate, for example, this time and answer it as like you have here for 6 months or 10 centuries or 10, for example, 11 hours and so on. Okay. Number 2, as I said, I have attended 5 cross-country skiing events. Okay, skiing events. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, we have an exercise. You are going to help me with that. Read the words in the chart below and find the sport that connects them. Complete the chart below with name of the sport, like just swimming here. Okay, like just swimming. Okay, I want you to look at number 2, 3, 4, and 5 and find out the name of this sport by seeing what? Seeing the equipment, for example, of these words. So, are you ready? Very good. Now, let's start. Board, sea, swimwear, sail, and wind. Okay, and the keywords actually is wind. Number 3, snow, slope, mountain, gloves, snow boots, and skis. Number 4, trainers, net, ball, rocket, and shorts. Number 5, boots, gloves, shorts, ring, and finally is the mouth guard. Mouth guard. Okay, so I'm actually labeling or highlighting the keywords that you are going to need to know what are talking about. Okay, for example, here we have rocket or net, for example, trainers. So we are going to start. Let's start. Where can you find board, sea, swim, wear, sail, and so on? You could find in wind surfing. Okay, wind surfing. Number 3, snow, slope, mountain, gloves, snow boots, and skis. Yes, skiing. Nice. Number 4, trainers, net, ball. Huh? What kind of a sport is this? It's tennis, of course. Okay. 5, boots, mouth guard. Okay, the mouth guard is actually used, okay, when trying to marry someone on his mouth. Okay, so in order to not get harmed, he used the mouth guard. Okay, the mouth guard. And actually, this is in boxing. This is in boxing. Very good. Now, let's go to the second point of time. The second point of our lesson, which is adverbs and adjectives. And guys, please Now I want you to focus with me, okay? Because I want you to learn what is the difference between adverbs and adjectives. Let's start. Adverbs are what? Words used to describe a verb. Okay? For example, he runs. Okay? For example, quickly. Okay, the word quickly here is an adverb. Okay, the word quickly here is an adverb. Okay, now can you give me the adjective from this quickly or this adverb? The adjective. And the adjective is quick. Okay, so if I want to describe someone or something, I should use adjectives. Okay, so adjectives are words used for what? To describe a noun or a pronoun or thing, for example, noun or a pronoun. For example, he runs quickly, so I'm describing here how fast he can run or could run. He runs quickly, okay? And here, the adjective, for example, I could say that he is, or he ran, for example, quickly. Or I could say here, using the adjective from quickly, okay, is it quick? Okay? Or fast, for example. By the way, we have two words, which is fast and hard. Those two words, it could be used as the same, adjectives and adverb. Okay, adjectives and adverb, they have the same meaning. He could run, he runs fast, or he is fast. Okay, and hard, I am a hard worker, for example. He is a hard worker, okay, or he works hard. This is the difference between adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives and adverb. Very good. Now, as you can see, quick here is an adjective. Okay, quick is an adjective, and quickly is an adverb. Okay, now, what is the difference between this word, quickly, and quick? In order to form an adverb, you should add ly. You should add ly to the adjective. Okay, you should add ly to the adjective. And actually, let's see in your book, okay, Adverbs of Manners. Let's start. Adverbs of manners or manner express how something is done. Okay, express what? Adverbs of manner. Okay, express how something is done. For example, how did he explain? He explained carefully. This is called adverb of manner. Sometimes an adjective and adverb have the same, as I said earlier. Okay, fast, okay, and hard. I use it both as an adjective or an adverb. Okay, this is a good point actually. Okay, and here the adverb form of good is called will. Not better, it's called will. For example, can he drive? Yes, he drives very well. Okay, he drives, for example, he's a good diver, for example, or driver, and he dives really well. Really well. So will here, okay, is taken from good. It's taken from good, or the adverb of good. Now let's move to another point, which is comparative. Guys, comparative, when you compare between one thing or one, and another, or one person and another. And actually, sometimes I use it like this: one versus one. Okay, so here I use the comparative form for what? To compare between two things. For example, Ahmed is taller than Khalid. Okay, and vice versa. So here I am comparing, and that I'm using tall, the adjective tall. Okay, the comparative form of the most one syllables adjectives and adverbs, one syllable adjective and adverbs, is formed by adding er. Okay, one syllable. Like slow, slower, fast, faster, okay, hard, harder. Number two, some comparative forms of adjectives are irregular. Okay, irregular. It means that you could not use er with them. Like good, for example, and bad. Okay, you could not use good and gooder. Bad, badder. No, this is incorrect. Okay, you should add, or you should change the word. Okay, the word itself from good to better, bad to worse. Bad to worse. Okay, the comparative form of most two or more syllable adjectives and adverbs is formed by adding what? By adding here, by adding more. Adding more. Okay, for example, difficult, more difficult. Carefully, more carefully. Okay, so here in one syllable, if I have one syllable just like this adjective, I should add er. But if I have two syllables or more than that, I should use more. Okay, I should use more. Okay, the adjective comparative here, the youngest athlete was faster than all the others. Okay, and football is more thrilling than basketball. More thrilling than basketball. Here I'm using something different, which is the youngest, okay, and of course thrilling. Thrilling is an adjective, by the way. Okay, adverb comparative is the man climbed higher and higher. Okay, up the mountain, higher and higher. The earthquake got stronger and the walls shook more violently. Very strongly. Violently, it means very strongly. Okay, very good. Now, did you know the difference between adverb and adjective? Nice. Finally, I could use the equal, than, okay, and as, adjective as adjective as. Okay, what does it mean? If I have something equal at the toe, for example, Ahmed and Khalid, they have the same toe. Okay, so Ahmed is, okay, for example, I could say that. Okay, let's read the question here. Sorry, the sentence here. Use them to compare two people, animals, things, ideas, or situations. For example, that the athlete trains harder than all the other athletes. Number two, use as, okay, or as to show two items are the same in some way. Okay, they are same in some way. How? Skiing is as dangerous as snowboarding. As I said, Ahmed is as tall as Khalid. Okay, so here skiing is as dangerous as snowboarding. Finally, number three, okay, if they are not equal at the same, or they haven't, or they don't have the same adjective, for example, okay, so we use not before as to show items are not the same in some way. The fold-up bicycle is not as bulky as a regular bicycle. Okay, the fold and the bulky one. Okay, so the fold-up bicycle, which can be fold. Okay, and actually cyclists, they know how. What do I mean by the fold-up bicycles? It's not as bulky as a regular bicycle. Okay, or a regular bicycle. Okay, and this is how we could do, or the forming the situation or the adjectives with as, adjective as. Finally, you have an assignment. Okay? Read the advertisement for winter ski vacations. Complete the gaps with the appropriate word. Okay? And I want you to stop the video if you would like. Okay? And read the whole passage here. Okay? And then come back, please, to find out the answer. Okay? To find out the answer. I'm going to start with number 1. Okay? Are you thinking of going on a ski vacation? Do you ski as well as? Okay? Because here I am using as and as your family. Okay? If not, then don't disappear. Okay? Okay. There is a lot more to a trip to the snow. Number 2 is going to be than. Okay? And you could continue, please. Let's go to number 3. We have the latest. Very good. Number 4, snowboarding is the most, or more is the most popular. Very good. 5, it is easier, okay, from easy, than skiing, and a lot of or more fashionable, okay, more fashionable. Number 7, here we have fast. Okay, and the answer is faster actually, because now we are comparing between two things. 8, good. Do you remember? We could not use ER with good. We have to change the word. Okay, so maybe sometime you could not use or change the word, but here I'm going to use are a good choice for those who like. Number 9, also another one, good. Yes, the best. We are talking about superlative now, okay? Finally, number 10, as fun. So here, as fun as, okay? As fun as any sport, okay? And actually, this was our last slide of today's lesson, okay? And let's see the objective. We express duration with for, and note the for and since, difference between them. Express duration with all. Form sentences about an action that started in the past, we did. And produce sentences about duration. Form sentences about counting, and connect a group of words with a specific sports. Okay? Thank you so much, and inshallah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.